Storm. What do they call you? Wheels? This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Something you may not know about me is that I'm a comic book fan, which for all intents and purposes just means that I love bitching about comic books, and by proxy, comic book movies. So, a few days ago, Deadpool and Wolverine's second trailer dropped, and like I mentioned, comic book fan, so I have some opinions on not just the trailer, but the overall point of Deadpool and Wolverine, and stand to ask the question, do we need Deadpool and Wolverine? Now, I do want to clarify that my points here come from someone who loves Deadpool and loves Wolverine, but who also loved the MCU. Like Infinity War? Peak. Good movie. And that love for the MCU means I know what kind of people tend to criticize the MCU vocally.
The Ku Klux Klan! Oh no!
So I promise there's going to be no bad faith MCU criticisms in this video. Now, make no mistake, we were always going to get Deadpool 3 in some way, shape, or form. The Deadpool duology were two of the highest grossing R-rated movies ever, and the amount of funny Deadpool cosplayers at any convention only further proves the reach and impact the films have had. So Deadpool 3 was never a question of if, only when. But Deadpool and Wolverine isn't quite Deadpool 3. Sure, most of Deadpool's supporting cast are there, albeit briefly as far as we can tell, but there's a notable lack of Domino and Cable, two characters who were at the core of Deadpool 2. Now, their mysterious disappearance isn't a new problem. A big problem that the Deadpool duology has is a lack of thematic cohesion. Deadpool 1 served as a half-action movie, half-romantic comedy between the regenerating degenerate and his fiancée Vanessa. While Deadpool 2 was initially pinned to follow up on this tone, it was decided that it would instead be about Wade's grief over the loss of Vanessa, who, instead of having any significant role in the film, would instead be killed off to serve as Wade's motivation throughout. Whoa, definition of fridging, what are you doing here? From there, the film shifts its focus to Cable's story, as he and Wade become a buddy cop duo. The pivot from romantic comedy to buddy cop shenanigans isn't an unwelcome one. Cable and Deadpool were paired together in the comics from the start. But the lack of follow-through on the romantic comedy angle speaks to a lack of thematic focus throughout the Deadpool films that continues on to Deadpool and Wolverine. In the trailer, we're given a glimpse at Deadpool after Deadpool 2. He's happy with his family after the events of Deadpool 2's post-credits time travel shenanigans until he's kidnapped by the TVA. Once more, the plot of the film kidnaps Deadpool from any significant connection to the linchpin of his emotional arc from the first film. It's once again pushed aside to serve more as motivation than anything. Deadpool has an entire cast of developed, lovable side characters who seem to get the boot in order to introduce Hugh Jackman's Wolverine once again. So we've covered Deadpool, let's move on to Wolverine. Which brings us to Logan, the 2017 film that served to finally wrap up both the story of the cinematic Wolverine and serve as Hugh Jackman's final time popping the claws. Logan was a finale to the character of Wolverine, and features Logan's final adventure, saving his clone, Laura Kinney, from several people who want her recaptured, but most notably is X-24, a practically mindless clone of Wolverine played by Hugh Jackman. X-24 is a younger, stronger, bloodlusted Wolverine who tracked the two down and kills Logan before being shot in the head by Laura. Now for the interesting part, the meta-narrative. Logan is old. He's tired, and years of being an X-Man left him broken and without a healing factor. While X-24 is in perfect physical condition, but is completely owned and used by a greedy corporation as a means to their end. Now, I'm not implying that this is what Disney's doing to Hugh Jackman. He isn't being used. But the character of Wolverine had a complete emotional resolution to his arc. The character was dead, both metaphorically and quite literally. But now here we are, 7 years post-Logan, and there he is, reacting to Deadpool's quips. To say I'm disappointed but not surprised would be half true. I'm surprised they got Hugh Jackman back for this, given the amount of times he'd spoken about wanting to bow out on the character. Interestingly, it was actually Jerry Seinfeld who suggested that Jackman step down, because Seinfeld spoke about leaving while he was on top and the benefits that came with that. This all came to light in 2017, so look up Jerry Seinfeld 17 for more info on that. But the allure of that sweet Disney money, and likely his existing friendship with Ryan Reynolds, brought Hugh Jackman back. And from what we've seen thus far, unless they give him some really compelling material, it wasn't worth undoing Logan's arc. Oh, but we haven't gotten a Wolverine in the MCU. Sure we have. Check out X-Men 97. They even got the original Wolverine, Cal Dodd, back in the blue and yellow for it. Seriously, go watch X-Men 97. It's the best superhero media that's come out this year, on God. But for real, Marvel is playing a weird game with the X-Men. Everyone we've seen has been a different version of a pre-existing character. Patrick Stewart in Doctor Strange doing his best X-Men 97 Xavier cosplay, Kelsey Grammer in the Marvels playing a CG abomination that I think was supposed to be Beast, and now Wolverine. But it's not the Wolverine we know, but it might be. He's in the yellow costume at least. That's all we know about this Logan. And I'm worried the trailer's being purposefully vague about what's going on with this Wolverine. We see him as Patch and in and out of costume at multiple points, so it could be that he's a Wolverine variant, but then what would the point be? The film is stuck between a rock and a hard place. They either mess with the finality of Logan's arc, or they give us a Wolverine we have no attachment to. It's a lose-lose. But this could all age very poorly. Deadpool and Wolverine might come out with the world's deepest emotional arcs for the merc with the mouth and the knucklehead that we've ever seen. And I'll end up looking like a bigger fool than Jerry Seinfeld when he covered Fetty Wap's 1738. Look up Jerry Seinfeld 1738 to see that train wreck. So, the big question. Do we need Deadpool and Wolverine? I'd argue that for the sake of the characters involved, no. Deadpool needs a Deadpool 3 that provides ample space and time for the character's supporting cast and world to receive a proper conclusion that doesn't involve a million meta crossovers, while Wolverine's emotional arc came to a close 7 years ago, and bringing him back now just to see him in a yellow suit just doesn't feel right to me. And in that case, am I even looking forward to Deadpool and Wolverine? Yes. This shit's gonna be the Avengers Endgame of Fox X-Men characters that nobody cares about. Hello, Comic Accurate Pyro. Hello, fucking Toad. Toad's in this, man. That's how you know it's gonna be a classic. Also, their use of MCU imagery and characters has me very intrigued as well. That giant man skull that Cassandra Nova's presumably using as a base is not only a dope reference to Pym Falls from Old Man Logan, but just a hard visual in general. Oh, and Cassandra Nova! Only in a Deadpool movie would you get Professor X's evil sister who fought the professor while they were in the womb.
Whoa, children fighting! I can sell this!
So, yeah, I'm very excited to see what Ryan Reynolds and company are cooking. Let's all just hope that it's worth sacrificing the potential and the finality that the two lead characters have. Hey, thanks for watching. Doing some topical shit. I'm into superheroes, so I figure might as well make a video about it, right? Make sure to subscribe, and thank you. See ya!